All right. Um, this is just a silly video. This is not, you know, it's not going to be part of my main content or anything, but I just want to do something a little different. So I'm doing this for a class project. Um, and what I have to do is recreate some different logos. So there's like the YouTube logo or the Play Video logo. There's a house, um, a map point logo, and then a telephone logo. So I'm just gonna, for anybody interested in graphic design and visuals and stuff like that, just gonna kind of go through it. I have to do it anyway, so I figured I'll just do it on stream and fuck around with it. Um, so what I have to do here is something called a compound path in order to make those two shapes, the rounded rectangle and the play button uh, triangle go together. What you can see now is that it's all attached, and then when I do a fill, you'll see that it only fills the rectangle part and not the triangle. All right, so let's do like a what it looks like what they're recommending is like a purplish kind of magenta. So you could kind of see the stuff behind it, and it's through that. And then what I'll do is get rid of the line surrounding it. So now you see before it had the stroke. The stroke can be really thick or really thin. But in this case, I'd like to just do it the way they want it. So no stroke. All right, so that one's taken care of. Now the next one here we've got is a house. There's a few ways you could do this, but I'm going to do it a particular way that I've decided. So what I'm going to do is round off the corners here. So, oops. So what I do is I take this direct selection tool here, and then I pull it to a level, pull these two bottom parts holding shift and clicking, and then I can round off the two sides together. Then I go back to this tool here, the regular selection tool. Now I'll do Control C, Control V. We've got two of those. Put it down there. Okay. And then we're going to add our the triangular part of the house. Now, there's a few ways you could do it, but we could use is the polygon tool to do a really accurate triangle. And then what that does is then I double click on it and select three points. So now it turns it into a triangle. Going to make that a little wider to fit the shape. Pull it down a little bit. Pull it up. Now, if you see at the top, it's very faint, but it's a little rounded. So what I'm going to do is I click the direct selection, all right, of the corners, and then I pull that downward to make a nice little friendly little rounded part. Okay, so we're getting pretty far with our house here. Then we just add a little chimney, very basic rectangular shape there. Okay, so it looks like we've got, let me just see here. Okay, all right, so looks like we've got our house. So we've got the YouTube Play logo looking thing. Now we've got the house. All right, now we've got another one. Okay, so we're going to have to do the compound path tool once again. There's a few ways I could probably do this. What I'll do is I'll take care of a few things. So here's, like I said, there's a few ways you can do it. I'm going to do it this way by making a circle to make the top part first. Okay. And just for demonstration, explanation purposes, I'm going to make that transparent fill, and then the line itself will be black. All right. Oops. Undo. Oop, oop. Let me redo. Okay, so the line, we want that to be black. It was black for a second. Okay, there we go. Okay. I was getting a little worried there that it wasn't going to work. Okay, so we've got the circular part at the top. Now what we want to do is add the triangular bottom part. All right, so what we do, again, we use the tool, the polygon tool. It's already set for 3 points, so I can make my triangle. I'm going to flip it upside down, holding shift so it goes exactly the direction that I want it to. Okay, and then I'm going to drag it over. All right. Whoop. Looks a little goofy here. Want it to look, so yeah, probably if I was trying to do this maybe more accurately. I am trying to do it accurately. I'm not sure what's going on with the shape of it here. Okay, so we just want to line up the points. Okay, now the bottom, again, it's rounded. So what we want to do is click here and then just kind of round it off. Just nice little rounded off bottom part. Okay, kind of center it and straighten it out. Okay, so now you might be looking at that and you're like, okay, weird. The original is it's one connected piece. Why do we have two pieces? So what we want to do here, select both of those and then go to what's called the shape tool, the shape builder tool. It's this one over here, and we're going to draw a line through all three or both, and then they're now connected. So it's just this one piece. Okay, so what do we do about the hole? We make a circle. All right, you're familiar with circles, simple shape, common shape. It's the HB logo shape, in fact. If you didn't know that, you really don't watch. All right, so we're going to do effect, object, compound path once again, make, and that makes the hole in the donut, so to speak. All right, so now we want to fill that again. So what we do is we use the eyedropper tool, and we now have the map point piece. Okay, now we've got what's called a telephone, the classic style of telephone before they did the whole, smartphone thing. So if you're watching, I don't have any super young people, so I assume you've seen that, but it doesn't matter. You know what a telephone is. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a little bit of a different thing this time, which is I'm going to trace it using the pen tool. Okay, so we're going to kind of just try and round things out a little bit. Again, if I probably want to, over time, get the hang of really doing some good curves. And you can with talent and ability and practice, you can really smooth out those curves. For illustration purposes at this time, I'm going to do the best I can. And it may not be perfect, but honestly, if I didn't point that out, you may not even notice. So yeah, we've got the larger part of that made. Now we're going to do the receiver. Okay, got that. Right, I'm going to select. I'm going to select these two ends and round them off. Okay. Make that line up a little bit better. And you might see that the other part of the phone looks invisible. That's because there's no stroke and the fill is invisible right now. So I can actually take the time here to change that up. Okay, so we're gonna click all three of these parts, fill them up. Okay, so we've got the body of the phone set up here. Now we want to do these waves, these lines coming out of it, and I'm going to do the same thing I was doing before, where I was kind of rounding it out and doing the curves. So we're just going to do some curvatures here. All right. This is Bob Ross for computer nerds. Okay. So just kind of doing this part. And then, so I've got my first wave. And what I actually can do now, if you're a perfectionist, you might want to screw with this a little bit more after the fact. There's a variety of ways you can do that. You can pick individual parts of it and kind of stretch them out, flex, mess around with it. Let me see if I can actually, okay. Yeah. So you can make yourself go as crazy as you want. And, crazy is relative. It's just about, wanting to do a good job here. Okay. So now I copy that and I can actually just make it larger. Now we'll see if that looks good. It might turn out that it's better to just retrace it, but I think we can kind of fit roughly the shape we're trying to get there. Okay. Again, if I was doing a professional project here, somebody was paying me, I'd probably really fine tune it, but this is just for kind of illustrative purposes and doing a project. Okay, so now we have our waves. So let's take a look here. Okay. 1 second.